Okay, so we'll wait for another 1 minute. But before that, if we have any questions around what we discussed, and if you want to put across any queries which is there in your mind, right, you would like to ask from me, then yeah, maybe you can unmute yourself or write your questions into the chat. I'll try to answer those questions with best of my knowledge. No questions, no queries.
As of now, no questions. So we'll ask once we start the content.
Thanks, Venkat. So with that, I'll share my screen, okay, and we'll resume today's session. Okay. So yeah, welcome to the day two, which is again a demo session for everyone. And yeah, what we are going to discuss today is we'll start with the Camunda topics today. Okay, what is this product is all about? Okay, and after that we'll go through with the architecture understanding of the Camunda platform in terms of the Camunda 7 and Camunda 8. So what is Camunda 7? What is Camunda 8? What is Camunda BPM? And what is actually a BPM tool is, right? We will be understanding all these topics. But to have a fair understanding about that product, right, we'll start from very basics and fundamentals today. So apart from that, right, what points we have discussed already so far in terms of the do's and don'ts. I'll be requiring some support, which is required if you are a serious learner for this training, right? So these are the points which I'll be expecting from you. So all students, right, should be regular in the classes, okay, and should be punctual. I'll be starting the session beforehand, okay, at least 2 to 5 minutes before. But I'll expect everyone should be joining the sessions on time so that it won't be a loss for anybody else who will be joining the sessions regularly on the start time, right? So 7 to 8 p.m. Is the 7 to 8 a.m. daily on weekdays will be the training schedule, what we already discussed and agreed. So please try to join those sessions regularly as well on time. And to have an interacting sessions, right? I'm expecting you guys to ask queries and doubts, whatever you have in your mind. Don't be hesitant because when you ask questions, it will be helpful for you guys and it will also benefit to the other students as well. Try to have a collaborative discussion here. Okay. Don't be hesitant because I have taken multiple, what you can say, training sessions. And for me, again, if you guys are not going to interact more, right, what I'll be doing is I'll be just going through with the sessions, okay, those exercises and finishing up. As we are connecting virtually, okay, so it's more important that we should have those queries to be asked as and when it is required. But again, it should be relevant to the topic, the topics what we already discussed about, right? On regular basis from next week onwards actually we'll be like almost having daily some hands-on exercises for 10 to 15 minutes, okay. That is something you guys have to also do on your machine, though I'll be reviewing it by asking you guys to share the screen, okay, based on the exercise. And then just ensure these hands-on exercises are very important and crucial when we are learning this particular product. So you have to do it by your own. So just don't take those hands-on exercises lightly. Having theoretical knowledge is always good, but when you do it by your own, you'll get an immense confidence when you'll be working actually on the real-time projects, right? And yeah, just follow the guidance, whether it's from myself or maybe you have those guidance from the coordinator from Harsha Training in terms of preparing the resume or maybe having the mock interviews or some other like guidance will be provided, right? Just try to follow them. And questions you can ask online during the class as well if you have any questions, right? you can also send across in a WhatsApp group, which will be creating from next week onwards for the students who will going to be continuing, right? So that's a least expectation, and I believe everybody will follow that because it is going to benefit actually all of you. Now, before we start, anybody has any idea about what is actually a Camunda BPM or a BPM tool? Maybe it's whatever understanding you have, right? If you can unmute yourself and share at least one or two lines, it will be really great. So as I said, right, we should be more interactive, ask questions and queries. So that's a time where you can leverage this opportunity. Come on, guys, you have joined this training. At least you should have gone through the basics about this product, right? What is this tool? Anything, whatever you know about Camunda BPM, right? Just unmute yourself and share your understanding towards it. See, if you guys are not going to speak, right, then maybe I have to ask someone's name, right? And then they have to uh, share the knowledge or the answer the question which I'll be asking. So just I don't wanted to do that. Maybe anybody can share this uh,
Yeah,
understanding about the Camunda. Yeah,
yeah.
Venkat, please go ahead.
BPM business process management is one of the automation tool which helps to build flows which are
Mm-hmm.
related to some kind of customer management and business related functionalities. And
Right.
in that BPM, there are few tools we have to support those functionalities, and Camunda is one of the one.
Very good. Thanks, Venkat, for this answer. It's really to the point. Anybody else who wants to share something else about the Camunda VPN?
Camunda BPM Overview tool, open source tool.
Mm-hmm.
Camunda tool is implemented internally using Java API.
Okay.
Using Camunda will implemented BPM, CMN, DMN.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, sir.
Great one. So yeah, it has been implemented by using Java language. Okay, it's a BPM tool, and it also has the BPMN, CMMN, and DMN. Okay, the notations provided. So I think many of you will not be aware about what is BPMN, what is CMMN, and what is DMN. Okay, so thanks at least for putting all this, what you can say, the technical words, right, which I was not expecting. So thanks Mohan, for having this detailed, what you can say, answer about having the introduction about the Camunda BPM. It is really good. But those who don't know about BPM and CMM and DMM, right, don't worry. That is what the training is all about, and that is what we are going to learn for next, what you can say, 1.5 months. So yeah, Camunda has been implemented using Java technology, as well as it supports all the three standards and notations of the object management group, which is BPMN, CMMN, and DMN. Camunda is a low code platform, right, which helps organizations to develop business applications. What is business application? It has some meaningful business outcome in order to, by automating or orchestrating the business requirements. You can say that. Also, Camunda supports all three standards. Why all? Because there are only three standards and notations which has been governed by object management. Okay, it's coming here. Object management, which is that is BPMN, CMMN, and DMN, right? Anybody else who wants to try? Maybe which domain Camunda BPM has been used, which companies maybe you are aware of who are using already Camunda BPM. Okay, what type of different products or components product is having. Maybe if you want to name any what you can say the component which you are aware about in order to do the development, who can learn Camunda BPM as part of what you can say this training as a developer or as a tester or maybe as a system admin. So yeah, anything else if you want to add?
One of my friend works in Caterpillar, and he works on
Okay.
the Camunda BPM, which has
Mhm.
like it's a open source, and they do the orchestration and deployments, and as well as the flows will be developed in the different frameworks, and they have been moved through the microservices. So I heard the Camunda use, and it's an open source. Yeah, that's what I heard about the Camunda BPM.
Very good. So that is something which I was expected as well. Thanks for bringing this. Camunda is an open source BPM product. What is open source? We'll discuss about it. Okay. So normally, let me give a brief about it. Open source is actually also known as community version as well, which has been made for the community. Okay. And that is absolutely free to use. You don't have to pay any, what you can say, license fees when you're using a product like in a very simple and layman terms. So usually you also use some software site or maybe some applications which you download. They few of them are free to use, but for few applications you also have to make some additional payment in order to use those particular applications or softwares. So whatever has been free to use, it is also called as known as open source. Camunda supports or Camunda is an open source BPM product which is absolutely free to use. However, it is not been recommended to be used for the production ready applications that is being governed by the product. So it also comes as an enterprise product. Okay, what it comes as an enterprise product as well. So what is an enterprise product? It has all the features which is there in the community version or open source version. Apart from that, it also provides additional features, right? Which has been there in the enterprise product. And why they have additional features? Also, it has better, what you can say, the user experience in terms of the UIs which product supports and additional features as I already mentioned. So they have been, what you can say, introduced in the enterprise product or umbrella because it has a licensing cost. Enterprise product has a licensing cost involved, which means if organizations are using Camunda BPM as an enterprise product, they have to pay some licensing fees. But then what is the advantage of using an enterprise product? I'm not going into any details as of now. We are just learning about the kind of what you can say open things about this Camunda BPM as part of the answers I have received. So, which means companies will get extra features, better user experience, what we can call UI UX, and extra features means whatever the different components it offers it, they have those features additionally on top of that. In every particular feature, whether it's for monitoring, whether it's for the development, or for in terms of the using the creating the process mining or dashboard. Everything, all the product which comes with the enterprise product, it has few additional what you can say features involved. Also, you get customer support, okay, based on the type of contract. What does it mean is like if you are using a product from the company as a licensed product, they also provides a customer support for the queries or questions you have. Okay. Again, it depends upon different type of contracts they have. They have a gold contract, silver contract, right? Platinum contract. Based on that, what you can say, the response and resolution time from the uh, Camunda support team, right? Product team will get vary. Okay. Again, these are, we don't have to go in depth about it, but we have to understand it is also available as open source, which is known as community edition, which is completely free to use, but not recommended for the production ready applications. Okay, so my version of Camunda is like, yes, Camunda comes not only as an open source or enterprise version, it's a product which allows an organizations to develop the complex workflows by using all the triple standards and notations governed by the object management, whether it's a BPMN, CMMN, or DMN. There is an exception about the CMMN in the Camunda 8, which we'll discuss. But yeah, in Camunda 7 still, it supports all the three standards and notation along with the user interface, which is forms to develop the complex workflows for various domains. And also, it is known as Universal Process Orchestrator. You might have heard or seen this comment quite often. So, what does it mean is it provides different types of connectors or out of the box features, which helps organizations to connect with the outside world. What is an outside world? Which means if you want your Camunda application want to get connected, right, with any other third-party application or software, it provides various kind of connectors. Like you want to get some data or you want to share some data outside your application, right? Then it provides those integration placeholders or integration points, whether you want to do it as part of the microservices, okay? Like if you want, which means it is quite just which means it is quite open in terms of the integration, okay, as well as like if you want to integrate with any of the database which is being preferred, right, there is a product official recommended databases are there for whom you can use and integrate with the Camunda BPM, as well as if you want to integrate with the third-party application as part of REST APIs or microservices, you can do that. You want to send across some email, you want to get it connected in terms of messaging queues, like where you are getting or sending the data in terms of the payloads, right? In terms of JMS or RabbitMQ or Kafka, you can do that. And also, it has inbuilt connectors now in order to trigger emails to connect with Google Map, Google Drive, Slack, okay, and what all Confluence, Jira, all these connectors are out of the box available, and that is where when you do the integration and coding, right, it is like low code. And what is low code? Where you don't have to code much, you just have to use the right components, and by that you have to just do the configurations around those components, right? Everything which has been there, right, it is part of the product. You just have to drag and drop and do the configurations accordingly based on your requirement. Understood? That is what we will known as low code. However, if you have to do it as part of the pro code, then definitely a lot of code you have to write about. And that is where these products are coming, where you can build applications with less time and efforts. And also it comes with the various, what you can say, the UIs, where you don't have to redevelop those, what you can say, UI component for the end business user in order to see the details and tasks and dashboards, right? Sometimes we create an application in order to display that. We also have to create multiple screens. So all these things are coming as part of the product, but again, it is quite flexible. What I mean by the flexible is, if you want to do any custom development, right? Note here, if you want to do any additional custom development, which is not part of the product, or you want to do it differently, then again, it supports that custom development, which means if you have any kind of use case set, you can do it by using low code or by writing your custom code as well based on your requirement. That's a summary about Camunda BPM overview. Now, again, to discuss that more details about the overview, or on a very layman terms, Camunda as a product has been founded in year 2008, which means almost 1.5 decades ago. So 15 years, since 15 years, this product has been into the market. Okay, it is quite mature, and it is what we can say is been used deeper and wider in terms of the domain and industries across the globe. Okay, that is where they have employees globally, which is having a count of 300 plus. They are on an official payroll of the Camunda company. However, if you think about the community members is, it's an open source community where people who are working as a Camunda professional into different organizations and companies, or who are learning Camunda BPM, right? They have any questions, queries, or feedback. There is an open source community is there where the registered user count is more than 1 lakh, 100,000 plus. And it has been increasing on daily basis. That data, what I have shown here is like almost what you can say 6 months ago. And as the days are getting progress, right, it is getting increased day by day. They have multiple offices across the globe into different, what you can say, continents as well. So 6 offices they have worldwide, including America, Asia, and Europe continents. But their head office, right, where the company has been launched and now been managed as part of the company stakeholders, right, key management group. They have been working from Europe location in the country Germany. Okay, that is where they have established the company, and from there it has been going into the multiple parts of the company, and they have more than 500 plus enterprise customers. Mind it, what I am mentioning is companies or organizations who are using as a licensed Camunda product, right? Enterprise we have already discussed. The count is more than 500 plus, and it is again evolving and increasing on daily or weekly basis. More and more companies are using it because of the features what this product is providing. Apart from that, many companies are still using the open source product as well. So that count has not been there, okay? But it is again a very decent count. Where it has been used, you can see 190 plus countries with people are using Camunda. So it has been used across the world. And if we talk about the companies, right, the common or more popular companies which I am aware about is like, you might have heard about the Goldman Sachs. They have been using Camunda, like they have more than what you can say 200 processes which has been running, and they have millions of transactions which has been happening on a daily basis. So millions means you can think about it, how many what you can say the application and transaction, how widely this organization, right, is using Camunda for their day-to-day operations and activities. Similar to Amazon or Flipkart, we have a Zalando as a company, right, which is quite popular in the Europe, especially in the Germany. They are using Camunda. Then you might have heard about the Nokia and Panasonic AXA. AXA, like it's an insurance company, so they are using it. Fujitsu, Atlassian, Atlassian, like you guys might be knowing, I have worked about the Confluence products, right? Jira and all. So that is being governed by the Atlassian. So there also it is being used. If you talk about the telecom industry, then Orange, Vodafone, Viacom, ING, they have been using it. So, like as it's mentioned, right, they have 500 plus enterprise customers. I'm not going to name all these companies, but it's been used by many companies, and these are some quite popular companies which you might have also heard about in terms of the domain, right, where it can be used. So, what does it mean by a domain is like when you are developing any application, right, you'll be working on a specific domain. Like if you have studied in any what you can say engineering or in the schools, right, you have different subjects. Same way, when we work in IT industry, we have the different domains. People will ask, what is your technical expertise? But apart from that, which domain also you are working about? So, which means every domain has requires its own what you can say knowledge as well when you are developing some application. So you name it like as a banking domain or finance domain, maybe healthcare or insurance domain, manufacturing or telecom domain, technology or public sector, media or entertainment. All those domains, right, they have been using Camunda as a product, right, widely. It this product is that quite popular and flexible, right, that you can develop any automation, okay, or orchestration program across the industries. Any questions, guys, so far? Or are you able to follow me? Or is it like going with a faster pace, or I'm a little bit slow? My audio is like correct. Are you able to hear me, guys? And just unmute yourself. And if you have any questions or queries that you wanted to put across, just let me know.
Clear.
Thanks for
I am good.
acknowledging. Thanks again. So, as Mohan, Venkata, and someone else has also share their knowledge about what is the Camunda BPM product, right? So, yeah, they are really on the point. Okay, I'm really appreciate about using the right content and no, but still, if you have any like thing which you know about when I'm asking questions, right? Just feel free to unmute yourself and say what you know about it. It is actually eventually going to help you guys. So I'm um, repeating this point again and again, and I'll be doing it into the initial few days as well. But as and when we are progressing into more technical content, right, I'll not be going to repeat that. It is something I really appreciate and encourage. If you ask questions, unmute yourself and say whatever you know about this product whenever you get this opportunity. And it's not only about this training program. I will suggest you to do this across like all the sessions or trainings or what you can say uh, any what you can say online trainings and offline trainings you are going to use it. If you have doubts or questions, please try to put them across on the table and get them answered. Maybe you know something very well as well, but try to hear the what you can say the other part from the trainer side as well. So it will always going to help you, and it will also encourage trainer also to get interacted. Fine. With that, I'll move on to the next slide here. Okay. So as someone that Camunda is one of the most popular BPM to automate and orchestrate the business processes, right? And it is getting popular. That's where more and more companies are also taking the enterprise version of that. And that is where we have more and more openings and opportunities as well within what you can say India across different locations as well as for the on-site locations as well. Specifically, if you ask about the on-site, then that is been more popular towards the Europe countries and into the US majorly. It supports the open architecture. That is very important. That's why I have underlined this point. Okay, what does we'll learn about the architecture of the Camunda BPM, Camunda BPM Architecture 7, as well as Camunda 8, but it supports open architecture, which means it fit into diverse and complex enterprise environments and technology stacks with Camunda's open and scalable architecture. Try to understand, no company is going to invest in any technologies. Okay, they are not going to buy any product. Okay, there are many products are available into the market. They always look for the solutions from the vendors, right? So companies already have their own ecosystem. Sometimes companies will go to the transition phase, okay, where they will come out from the legacy application and they'll go digital and invest heavily onto the technology, okay. But that is not most of the time, right? Then why somebody or any company is going to buy a product, right, which additionally comes with a licensing cost? Similar application can be developed by using free and open source products as well, okay. The point here is how you want to develop your applications, right, efficiently, effectively, and quickly, right? That is where it comes. And then already companies have their own ecosystem, but still they are onboarding a new product, and Camunda is getting fit into that their ecosystem of the technologies which already organizations are being used. You just think about it, right? If you like something, right, in the market, and if that product you like a lot, okay, you also have a budget for that, but you cannot get it, right, like if you get or bring into your home, you are not going to trash everything what you have into the home just for getting a new one product, right? You try to keep it in your home at a place, right, where also it can be mixed, or it can be what you can say, accommodated along with the existing things what you already have in the home. So that's where when companies are bringing, right, they have to ensure that this product should fit into their architecture style as well. Some companies are using a product of Oracle based, some companies are using other products like uh, IBM based or Microsoft based or Google based. So some companies are using VMs, other companies are already being into the cloud setup. Okay, they have different domains. So that is where the architecture has been designed for the product, that it fits into diverse as well as for the complex enterprise environments in terms of the technology stack with its Camunda's open and scalable architecture. Some companies have a lot of transactions, right? Heavy traffic will be there. So there you need to scale your architecture as well, right? The product which you are building. So it supports across the domains as well as for the different and diverse architectures as well. That is where the companies are investing on this product and they are onboarding it, right? Again, Camunda is a lightweight business process engine which is written in Java, as Mohan has, I think, answered this question, right? So it is a product. When you are buying it, right, the product is also being developed by a company. So when they have developed this product, right, the those engines. So what is these engines, right? Will learn. So when we talk about it supports the BPMN or CMMN or DMN, right? So these are the standards and notation which has been supported by the Camunda BPM, but how it is supported, right? These are the different features, okay, or the technology support which a product is providing. To handle those, what you can say, the notations and standards, right? The backend code has been written mostly into the Java programming language by the product. Okay. And they are quite lightweight. What does it mean is when you inject or when you develop it, right? It is very lightweight, which means it is easy to deploy and it won't cost more, what you can say, the resources of the VM or the machine where you are deploying it. It's a very lightweight. And that is something that's been proven across the different domains and industries as part of the help with the help of the numbers and statistics. Camunda BPM is from open source community, right? Somebody has already told that. I'm not going to repeat it. Let's move on to the next point. It follows the object management group standards, which help in business and IT collaboration So that is very important point when we are discussing the benefits of BPM, right? It again provides a good collaboration between business and IT because it supports the BPMN, DMN as well as CMMN. Okay. So what is the mean by the IT collaboration and business and IT collaboration? Whenever maybe few working professionals, you might be knowing it, right? When we are developing any product or application or web-based application, there is a team around it, right? And there is a management team. There are some technical guys. There are some non-technical guys. Okay, let's say non-technical guys. I'm not saying control, but as part of the role, what they are handling, right? They don't have to code much. Okay, it doesn't mean they don't know the coding or something else. Okay, but usually non-technical guys, which when I'm using, right, which means they their roles and responsibilities like for in the organization where they don't have to code, they have to manage the application, like a product owner, okay, like a scrum master, like QA tester. Okay, normally QA guys will also do the automation, right? And they know many things about the automation. They also do the some coding. But overall, route, I'm just giving an idea about what are non-technical guys. And then technical guys, maybe people who are actually doing the technical job in terms of by doing some coding, if they are writing some programs by using any programming language, or by using even if you are developing something, right, by using BPM product, which is a low code, still you will be categorized as a technical people, right? Because you are doing some technical implementation in order to develop the web application. Clear on that? Now, by using of this BPM and case management and DMN, right? What is the added advantage organizations will have? Okay, it allows an organizations, right, to collaborate between technical and non-technical people, which means IT and business people to collaborate, which means whatever they are developing, right, if they will showcase, that will be easily understood by the non-technical people as well. We'll see how it is, okay? Because when you develop any application, right, it is been into a graphical, what you can say, components, okay? It has some flow chart. By visualizing those flow charts, right, when you develop using BPMN or CMMN or DMN, any non-technical people also having a glance on that flow chart can understand on a high level what this program or project or application is doing, right? They don't have to go and deep dive into the code. Maybe with a small, what you can say, meeting or demo session, technical people can share more details around as well, okay, how it has been implemented. But still, it will allow non-technical people in order to understand the application. And that is what the main, what you can say, the one of the most foundation pillar as well when companies are working on creating those BPM or low code products. If you follow the Gartner or other companies, right, who are publishing or creating some, what you can say, the roadmap about the technologies in the future, right, how they are going, it has been mentioned like till 2030, right, the market for the low code BPM platform is going to be increased by 275%. Okay, which means almost not double or triple. Okay, 275 is almost 4 times. So that is where companies are, what you can say, moving towards those BPM tools. The reason is when you use this BPM tool, right, it also allows non-technical people to write the code, which means not the actual code. They can develop the applications, right, by using those low-code platforms, by drag and drop features with a minimal guidance. If you want to train someone in a .NET or Java or Python technology, right, it is quite complex to understand. It takes time to get the mastery on that. However, with the help of this low-code platforms, right, they can quickly understand and learn those products as well. And at least they can contribute as well. And apart from that, I'm again reiterating on this point, just be focused on that. When I'm talking about the business and IT collaboration, what does it mean is, even you might have seen when we are developing applications, right? There are some initial drafts about it. So non-technical people or IT people also use the modeler, okay, as part of the web console. Of what is a modeler, we will discuss in detail about it, because that is what we're going to use day in, day out. Modeler is one of the component of the Camunda, okay, by using which you can develop the workflow, okay. So for the development work, there is a component which is called a Camunda modeler. So that will be used by the business analyst and product owners as well, who are non-technical people. They will create the flow chart by developing some high level of workflows, which will be referenced by the technical users or the IT team when they are actually going to work on that particular solution. Okay. So that is where they can also do the comments. They can also create the milestones which can be reviewed across the different team members in a company or organization, right? They can share the feedback, what is right, what is wrong on that. So this product provides this feature as well, where you can invite multiple, what you can say, stakeholders in your organization, right? In terms of different roles. So somebody who is developing an application, right, and wanted to take a feedback from someone else, okay, maybe technically or non-technically, they can do the collaboration within the tool, which means they can invite the other participants in order to get the comments or review on the application or project, right, they are developing. Okay, so you can have a continuous feedback as well in terms of the team collaboration. Is it clear? Any doubt on that particular point? Because you should be, somebody is asking about, right, why Camunda? These are the two pillar points, right? Open architecture as well as the collaboration point, right? That you should be always know, and that is where I'm emphasizing more on that part. Any questions so far? I'll take it as no. With that, I'll move on to the next point. It provides workflow and BPM platform for developers, system admins, as well as for the business users, right? So it comes with the different screens, UIs, which has been meant for a specific role, okay? So normally developers will do the development task, okay, by using Camunda modeler usually. And system admins are those people who are managing the applications, right, in a specific environment. Usually, they will be more towards about the deployment things or troubleshooting the issues, or maybe some, what you can say, the activities which is towards the identity management, which is like creating some users or group. Why we are creating users and groups, we'll discuss about it, right? But if something got failed, okay, to or maybe some transaction goes to the exception queue, okay, then you can definitely go and check the logs, okay. However, there are out of the box user interfaces will be provided by the product, right, where you can go and search those exception or error instances, right, in a pre-built user interface, okay, in terms of the filters, and then you can find out which instance has got failed or errored. You can deep dive into that instance, okay, you can open that instance and see where it has been failed. You can also see the graphical interface, okay, when you design your workflow, right, that workflow will be there. How many, like in a particular application, maybe there are 5 tasks, right, to complete. Maybe 3 has been successful and 4 it got exception. So you can all see where it has been failed. Then even you can see why it has been failed, whether it's a technical error due to some server crash, okay, or service unavailability, or maybe some data issue. All these details, right? Instead of checking the logs, you can also get the details into a user interface. So that is where mostly the system admins will be involved, right, in order to do the troubleshooting and monitoring of the applications. And not only about the exception, you can also get some other details as well around it. How many instances have been pending to be completed, all these details. So yeah, it provides the different UIs. The names I'm not disclosing much here, right? What are these component names? Because we have to deep dive into those components in a particular session, where when we do the installation on most likely Tuesday, right? Because Monday I'll be taking you through with the architecture overview. Then Tuesday we'll be doing the installation of Camunda BPM enterprise product, okay, which is actually a trial version, and that has been there to the free of use for 30 calendar days. Okay, so we'll be using it, and when we are using it, right, then we'll be understanding all these components by deep diving into those screens, right? Again, it has been forked from the activity BPM. What does it mean is fork? Anybody wants to take this point? The Camunda BPM product, right? It has been forked from activity BPM. I'll take a pause for 10 seconds. Just go through with that. What is your understanding on this point, right? The product has been forked from activity BPM, which is registered and trademark of Alfresco. Okay. Are you guys following me? At least say yes or no, or type in the chat. Meanwhile, I'll take one question. Okay. Is SQL knowledge is required? Okay. It's again always good to have, but usually in day-to-day basis, right? You'll not be going to work into the backend part. Okay. You are not going to write any custom queries or table, because when we do the installation, right? Product supports the MS SQL. Okay. Where you can use this as a database. Okay. How we can configure the database when we are creating a Spring Boot application, right? I'll be sharing those details. But again, mostly you'll not be querying it, because whatever data you are getting from the backend, in real-time cases, you'll be fetching it as part of the product APIs. So again, if you have that knowledge, it's good to have, but really it's not required to work on this product. Cool. So what I was asking is, it has been forked from activity BPM. So yeah, when I'll be discussing more about the Camunda BPM or JBPM family products, right? Why I call it as a family product, because they have been evolved or they have been forked from each other. Okay. So activity BPM is also one of the open source products, okay, which is actually being formed from JBPM. Okay. And in activity BPM, the founder members of Camunda BPM, right? They are part of this company before. So they have come out from this company, okay, in year 2008, and they have created a product from activity BPM. As Camunda BPM is an open source, activity BPM is also coming as an open source. And that time, open source means which is absolutely free to use. They have taken the source code of the activity BPM, and on top of that, they started doing the customizations going forward. So that's how you have to understand when they are forking some code, right, which means the engines, right, basic source code still will remains the heart and soul of the application. Though eventually, in terms of the last 10 years, that kind of customizations and the major version has been released, right? Camunda, there is a lot of internal architectural changes as well, but still it supports the basic, what you can say, you can do the customization when you buy something, right? But you cannot change it completely. That is what my point here is, right? So if you learn again about the Camunda, right, you will be also able to get familiar with the activity BPM as well, because most of the terminologies, right, you will find it absolutely similar. Somebody has asked about the question of the DB knowledge when I'll be going through with the product tables overview, right? How, when you install a product, right, what product tables and database objects will be created. You will be amazed to see that many of the, or not many, most of the product tables, right, which is being created, they have a prefix of ACT underscore, then XYZ. I'm not going into. So, with what does it mean is still ACT stands for the activity. Okay, like if they have a process instance tables, right? I'm not sure how many you will understand about the process instance other day, but let's say if there is any deployment of process instance table or some other tables are there for product, right? They are still starting. They have a naming what you can say nomenclature to follow, where for the mostly the product tables which has been created, right? They still have ACT underscore then XYZ, some other name, which describe actual the description of that particular database table, what is this table is meant for. So that's how after many years, right, they have not changed it. Because when you see, right, ACT, that means it has been, because it has been forked from activity, you still see those naming conventions there. Right. So it has been licensed by Apache 2.0. Okay. And actually, the product has been created in 2008. And that time, the founder members of Camunda BPM, Jacob Bernard, and one more guy, co-founder of that company, they started working as a freelancer for many organizations that time. Okay. And they get more and more projects from the across the different domains and industries that they have huge number of projects and work to do. They like thought of creating a company in year 2013, and that is where they have registered a company named as Camunda BPM in year 2003, where they have an head office in the Germany, Berlin. Okay, so they are doing the projects on the Camunda BPM since 2008. However, the company has been established officially in year 2013. And after that, there is no look back around it. Okay, they have like evolved with more and more customers and more and more what you can say the use cases what they uh, thought to develop, and that is where they got more and more customizations idea as well. As and when they are getting more projects across the different industries, they see the business challenges around it, the requirement of the product to be enhanced, more features to be included. They heard it, okay, and they delivered it. That is where you can see the regular updates or patches will be what you can say coming from this product. So what are these releases, patches? Again, I'm not going to have this in this today's session, but we'll be discussing when a product is releasing any new version, right? What are the different terminologies they use in terms of the alpha and stable release and other things. So we'll discuss about it. So yeah, the point here is they are doing the frequent release when they are fixing some product bugs in terms of the performance, non-working features, which has been reported by the organizations or by their internal team. They'll prioritize all these features and bugs. And again, they have a list of features to be developed. Many customers will say to add this feature and that feature, which will be helpful, but they have to deliberately have a discussion around it. If they are adding some new features, right, whether it is going to be very helpful and whether it should not be impacting their existing ecosystem of the product as well. Okay, the open architecture what they follow in terms of that, right, they will be releasing or adding those features one by one in the subsequent releases. And in year 2022, there was a major, so when they released, right, in 2013, it was the first version of Camunda, which starts with the series 7.0, and it has been forked from activity 5.21. Okay. So after that, there are multiple releases of the Camunda from 7.0 to 7.1, 7.2, 7.3. Up till now, I think it's 7.19 is there. But then in year 2022, there was a significant or major release was there by the product, which is named as the major release, and that is known as Camunda 8, which has been launched in April year 2022, which is almost like 1.5 years back, 18 months back, they have released. So why it has been named as a major release, we'll see about it, because in terms of the technical architecture side, they have done a lot of re-engineering here. Okay? They have introduced the new engines by which they have added some additional features around it in terms of the performance, scalability and how the internally engines were managed, right, internally in order to process the engine. But at the same time, they have to also compromise with some features as well around it, like the case management modeling notation, right? It has been discontinued from Camunda. Now, it doesn't mean that Camunda 7 is not being supported by the product. Okay, still, customers are open to use either Camunda 7 or Camunda 8. Okay, based on their requirement, and product is officially supporting both the version, whether it's 7 or 8, and it will be continuing for what they promise is for next 5 years. There will be an official support for both the versions. We'll see when Camunda 7 is more helpful and what are the use cases where we should go for using the Camunda 8. If we have those questions or queries, right, then definitely you can hold it for now. Okay, I'll be answering them in detail with some use cases as well around it. So the latest version of Camunda is now 8.2. I think now just recently they have released 8.3 as well, because it was a alpha release. Now it has been stable now. So yeah, I think it is one slide, okay, but it is very, very important. If somebody even asks you, right, in future, what is a Camunda BPM product? What is your understanding about that? So this one slide maybe have few points, but I have deliberately take some time in order to get the mindset right, to get focused on this particular product tool. Because we have to, I'm not going through with all the benefits, but at least it's an overview, which is a high level of understanding. If somebody is going to ask you, right, what is the Camunda BPM, you can at least share those bullet points, right, about the product. Any questions, guys, so far?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, Metro. Yes, sure.
Yeah, like, is this tool similar to TIPCO or it is different?
Okay, what is your understanding on the tip? Because I have at least told you about what is Camunda BPM is, right? Can you tell me, have you worked on TIPCO before, or you have got any opportunity?
No, my friend works on TIPCO, so he said about like TIPCO.
Okay.
That's it.
So again, TIPCO is one of the like BPM tool, okay, which is also help organization to build the platforms for the digital transformation, right? So it provides the BPM features and facilities. So if you want to tell me, right, whether Camunda BPM is similar to TIPCO, or maybe if somebody asks it is similar to Pega, or it is similar to IBM BPM, or any other BPM tool you can talk about, I can say yes, up to an extent. Yes, it is similar. But again, why they are similar? Because they both supports the standards and notations of BPM. As I'm reiterating this point, what is BPM, right? We have not even learned a single line about it. I'll tell you about it. So there are some low code standards and notation which has been supported part of the BPM notation, right? So both the products are following it. But again, when you talk about a product, it has a lot of customizations and additional features, as well as how you can onboard them into your ecosystem, how flexible they are, right? How many integration points or connectors they have, which is ready-made available. Okay? Where you don't have to do the coding. Like if you want to connect with any REST API, right? You don't have to write a Java code. You can leverage it by some configuration. If you want to send some notification, you can do that. All these are the custom things. Apart from that, it also supports the case management as well as the DMN. Also, it supports the form engines, which means they have a UI. So in terms of that, right, there are a lot of additional features or different features, what I can say it is there. And in terms of the usage, I think, yeah, TIPCO is also there since quite a long time, more than 15 years now. Okay. But what I can see is the number of application of the customers, what Camunda has been, right? It is quite immense as if you compare with the TIPCO. In a sense, they are similar, but internally they are quite different.
Yeah.
Any other question, guys? Okay. Feel free to like send your questions on chat as well, because I'll be answering that. If not, I think with the benefit of the interest of time, we already have reached to the today's end of the time. We can connect again for another demo session, which will be scheduled on Monday. Maybe you can coordinate with the coordinator for more details around it. Okay. And Saturday, Sunday, I will hope you can do get some at least 15 minutes of time to look around about the Camunda BPM, what is this product is, what we have discussed in the last 2 days. You can also get an access for the recordings. If you have any queries or doubts, I'll encourage you to have a lot of questions and queries around it. Okay, in the next session, ask your questions and queries. Okay, and then predominantly we'll be discussing about the architecture of Camunda BPM on Monday. Okay. And then we'll get started with the installation and regular, what you can say, the classes for the participants and candidates who will be continuing for the rest of the classes. Okay. With that, I wish you everyone a great day ahead. Have a fantastic Friday and a weekend to follow.